Well, hello there, my good faithful YouTube viewers and listeners. It is a Jer Bear. It's been a while since I've done a daily rant recording. Today's date is Saturday, June 26th, 2021. Thanks for stopping by and indulging me for a little while. Yes, there is someone that I haven't done this in a long time, but yeah, there is someone that I need to rant about. Someone who is going to get their, 15 minutes of shame. As I should have done this a long time ago. I don't know why I ever hesitated on doing things like this, but I should have done it a long time ago. But before I get to that, I just wanted to say that I've been doing great. Life's been pretty good. If you haven't been keeping an eye on my content, which most of you have, but if you haven't been lately, I was in Frankenmuth the other day. It had taken me an entire day to upload that video that I put together at Frankenmuth. I mean, YouTube, you really got to get your shit together, guys. I mean, you got all this other stuff that you're adding and taking away from the platform for us. I guess you would call me a content creator. But listen, there's got to be a quicker, more efficient way of getting videos and content uploaded to our channels, because all day long I had to wait. I had to sit at my computer. I mean, that's pretty fucking obnoxious, to say the least. But the video's up. I hope you've been enjoying the content. Every once in a while I'll post a video. I'll record something, put it on YouTube, and voila, there you go. But to get to the ranting portion of the video, so I'm going to preface this right away as I'm trying to get better. And my voice kind of breaks up because I'm actually just careless about who I talk about anymore, but I am trying to get better at prefacing situations. I don't want to start off by saying, oh, this person's of this or this person's of that. I want to give a little bit of background before I actually rip open a new asshole on somebody. So let me just say this. This person that I'm about to talk about. Again, just like any other person, we were friends, and it is apparent from the childhood cancer world. We were friends, I shared my story, she shared her story about her child. Yes, it's a woman. Everything was good. We talked in text messages, and everything was good in the beginning, as usual. But then the wheels fall off because this particular individual, Melinda K. Fisher, who is a diehard fam supporter and probably a Milk Tyson cocksucker, she read some horrific shit, just like before, just like usual. She read some horrible shit on Facebook, and as dumb as she is, I didn't think she was so ignorant and stupid, but she read what she read about me on Facebook, and now she's believing this to be true. And it's like, what the fuck? You have a guy who came into your house. She let Milk Tyson into her home, around her children. She gave this fat leeching maggot motherfucker access to her children. And I have said this any number of times now. Any number of times. Milk Tyson publicly admitted to being a sexual predator on a podcast. How many times do I have to say this before people start to get it in their heads that, hey, this dude's a fucking predator? How many times do I have to say this before people start to get it? How backwards is it to read something and be convinced by something you just read versus someone who actually gone on a public platform, on a podcast, and said, yeah, I got kicked out of a homeless shelter for sexual harassment. You know what? Sexual harassment is predatory fucking behavior. How many times do I have to run this by people? How many times do I have to say it? I don't give a fuck that he gives you money. I don't give a fuck that he gives you household appliances. And I sure as hell don't give a fuck that he's paying for cancer mom retreats. He is a maggot. He is a fucking predator. Why do you people support that? And furthermore, why are you so... I mean, this is how backwards it is. Why are you people so convinced... Melinda, why are you convinced of me based on something you just read versus something that Milk Tyson actually admitted to? How could you ever be convinced? I can answer that question for her, actually. I can answer the question for her. Although it's an incorrect answer, but I'm going to give it anyway because a whole bunch of people said it. She's going by appeal to popularity. This is how ignorant she is. And I fear for your kids, Melinda. I know you're listening to this. I fear for your children. I really do. I fear for your kids. That's all I can say. I fear for your children. Not just because you let a sex predator step foot into your house, but because you're not much of a mom. You're not much of a mother. If you're going to let people come into your house like this, knowing that that's who and what they are, they admitted to it, and you're still letting them into your house and giving them access to your children, you're not a mother. And you failed as a mother. Hear me loud and clear, honey. You fucking failed as a mother. Period. Who does that? Who does that? Oh, but I read this, and a whole bunch of people are saying the same thing. Okay, Melinda, I'm going to ask you the same thing as I've asked all those other people. Where's your evidence? I want good, solid, credible evidence that would make their claims about me true and accurate. You have my email address. I'm pretty sure you do. And if you don't, look in the About tab section on my YouTube channel. You will be able to uncover my email address from a computer. If you have a computer or if you can get access to a computer, uncover my email address. If you have sufficient credible evidence that makes their claims about me true and accurate, email me the evidence so I can examine it. Otherwise, you're just being ignorant of what's actually true and what's not. You don't bother to look into the situation. You just want to believe what you're told because everybody else is telling you this. It's really fucking sad. It's a shame. Melinda, you and I had awesome conversations. I thought you were a pretty cool chick in the beginning. I thought you were a pretty good oncology parent in the beginning. And I really thought you were. I thought you were great. But as it turns out, you're just like the rest of them. And, that's very disappointing, to say the very least. Very disappointing. Not a lot of smart people. Not a lot of smart people. And I don't like to do that. I don't like to come on here and publicly humiliate people. But I'm going to tell you, some people are deserving of it. They deserve the vitriol. They deserve the public humiliation. They deserve to be put on public blast because I am done fucking around. I am done fucking around. She sent me a text message. Well, I asked her, I said, so what's your problem? I don't hear from you anymore. What's your problem? You believe everything you read on Facebook? You let Milk Tyson into your house, a sex predator, and then she has the guff to say, well, people who live in glass houses. I beg your fucking pardon? People who live in glass houses. So let me get this straight. You read something about me on Facebook in which you are convinced that it's true. Therefore, which is why you cut off connection with me. Milk Tyson actually verbalized in admitting that he sexually harassed somebody and was thrown out of a homeless shelter. He admitted to this. And you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? What, are you fucking kidding me? Wow. Wow, honey. That's the most comical shit that I've ever heard. You are convinced of something you read, but you're not blocking Milk Tyson. No, you're probably going down on him so hard that your gag reflexes don't even recognize what's going in the back of your throat. I mean, it's sad. It's really fucking sad. It's a shame. It's okay, honey. Keep sucking on him. Keep blowing him. He's going to keep furnishing you with all this free money, all these appliances, paid vacations. He wormed his way into your life. You, just like a whole bunch of other people who fell victim and fell prey to this fam bullshit, and Milk Tyson being a con artist, an extortionist, you all fell prey to this. And you're just one more on the tally of people who are manipulated by this guy. And, dare I say, other people who read stuff and are convinced that it's true. So, Melanda, it was great. Our conversations were awesome. But you can go fuck yourself now. Because if you want to believe horrible things about me without actually knowing the truth, if you're just going to go off by what people tell you at the snap of a finger, you're not as smart as I thought you were. You're just as fucking ignorant and stupid as the rest of them. I mean, that just blows my fucking mind. People who... I mean, she said this to me. Well, people who live in glass houses, well, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I'm not sexually harassing people either. So what the fuck are you talking about, people who live in glass houses? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't sexually harass people, honey. Don't sexually harass people. I don't sexually harass anybody. Women, men, nobody. Especially not children. I don't sexually harass anybody. What the fuck are you talking about, people who live in glass houses? What the fuck is that about? Seriously? Wow. Wow. People are fucking stupid. People are stupid. I don't know what else to add to that other than people are stupid. And it's a shame. Ignorance is alive and well. And it lives on through Melanda Fisher. That's okay. I still wish the best for your child. Although I fear for her now, because you're turning your head, you're turning a blind eye to what's actually true, and you're believing shit that's not true. So Melanda, because somehow, some way I know this is going to get back to you. Everything I post to my YouTube channel always gets back to the person in question. So I know this is getting back to you, and I'm requesting that you show me some kind of credible evidence that would substantiate the claim that everybody else is making that you're believing, without question. I want to see some credible evidence. I'm challenging you. And if you show me evidence of something, any claim that they're making, email it to me. And you know what? There may be a chance that we could repair this broken friendship, and I'll take back everything I said. It is possible. It's happened already. I'm not going to put names out there, but you know what? It is possible. I just want to know why people are so stupid. You read something on Facebook, oh, it must be true, I'm convinced. But yet, you have a guy who admitted, Milk Tyson admitted on a public platform that he sexually harassed somebody. And what do? Well, you don't know what you're talking about. That's what she says to me. What the fuck? I don't know what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? I know what I'm talking about. The motherfucker admitted it publicly. How stupid! How stupid! And you know what, Melanda? I will send you the sound clip where he admitted to being kicked out of a homeless shelter and then laughing about it. Because he sexually harassed someone and he laughed about it. He thought it was a fucking joke. I will email you the sound clip. And if you're willing to have a civil conversation and we won't engage in all this name calling and everything, and I'll take back everything I said about you. Sure. Absolutely. I'm still the same person that you talked to when we first started talking, and that goes for anybody out there listening to this. I didn't change who I am. I didn't change who I am. I'm still the same guy that you started out talking to. The same person who introduced himself and we had a civil conversation. I'm still that same guy. But I've crossed a bridge where I don't give a fuck anymore. I've had enough. And I'm going to put you on blast. The whole world is going to know how fucking stupid you are. And the kinds of stupidity and the kinds of bullshit that I'm still dealing with. Because you, Melanda, want to believe what you read instead of actually listening to people who admit to being the creeps that they are. And now he's doing everything, Mike Tyson is doing everything in his tracks to cover up his tracks. It's too late. It's too fucking late. In fact, Melanda, I won't email you the sound clip. I actually put together a video on this very channel talking about the things that Mike Tyson said in the podcast. The sound clip. Look it up on my channel. It's called Beware of Fam Fighting All Monsters. You will hear what he says. I'm not even going to email you the sound clip. You're going to hear what he says. This is serious shit. And for some reason or another, you overlooked that. But I know the reason is because he's bribing you. You let the fat maggot son of a bitch in your house. You can't see the forest for the trees. You're blinded by his money, his gifts. He is as fake as they come. And it's a shame. It's sad that you're going to choose evil over the truth. Because I'm telling you the truth. You want to read something about me on Facebook and believe it? That's your fucking problem. I can't help you there. One day you'll come to your senses and you'll realize that everything you read on Facebook is not true. It's not as believable as you think it is. A lot of people are catching on to this. A lot of people are catching on to it. They're not going to be so quick to jump the gun and think, oh, I read something and all these people are saying it, so it must be true. Oh my God, Jared is a bad person. Well, now you might think I'm bad, quote unquote bad, because I'm calling you out. I'm putting you on public notice. The whole fucking world is going to hear this. This is bullshit, Melanda. This is bullshit. You're going to believe what you read as opposed to what someone actually admitted to, vocalized. How the fuck does that happen? How do you do, where is your mind? Where is your thinking? Are you using both sides of your brain? I don't think you are. You're going to believe something without evidence as opposed to believing something that someone actually admitted to, which is all the fucking evidence you need. And you think that's cute? You let a sex predator around your children? You give your children access to a sex predator? You give a sex predator access to your children? He's not a child cancer advocate. He's a leech. A maggot. One day, the lights are going to come on, Melanda. One day you're going to see this. You're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to open your eyes to what's really going on with this creep. You're going to find out the truth. You're going to see how he uses children as fodder for his ego because he's trying to make a name for himself at the expense of you and your kid. A lot of people are very well aware of that situation, which is why they cut ties with him. They know the kind of piece of shit that he is. And he doesn't hide it. He's been exposed any number of times. It's irrefutable. As for myself, you read something and believe it. Claims that have not met their burden of proof with sufficient credible evidence. I've been asking for evidence of claims for ages now. Since, 2016, 17, I think. And still, nothing. Time's ticking. I haven't received shit from anybody. No piece of evidence that would even be worth looking at. Not anything that would even remotely be considerable to look at, because when I do look at it, it's like, that's it? It's just a claim. Claims aren't evidence. Claims aren't evidence. Think about that. Yeah, it's true that people are making claims. There's evidence of claims. But I'm asking for the evidence that would make those claims true. The evidence that would substantiate the truth of those claims. Which, there is none. I'm still waiting. And I'll be waiting for a very long time. Melinda, it makes me sad, because I really thought that you and I were friends. I thought you and I were carrying on. I thought, cool. I'm making a friend, someone that I can actually share my story with and get my story out there, just to show somebody else that they're not alone, that they don't have to be afraid. Or if they are afraid, that it's okay to be afraid. I'm not trying to win a popularity contest like Mike Tyson and all these other idiots out there who are they're concerned with glamour and popularity. That's the least of my concerns. The very least of my concerns. I'm an actual survivor through and through. I'm someone who came through that fucking shitstorm. Childhood cancer. And I'm coming out dripping wet, soaking wet of evidence and proof and stories that I can tell your children. So that way they don't feel alone. So that way they're not as afraid. And I always tell people, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid. Because the strongest people who've ever lived throughout the history of mankind were also afraid. Strong people usually are scared. That's always been my motto. That's always been my message. And your daughter, who is a cancer warrior, I keep her in my heart and in my thoughts, and I'm not just saying that because I'm doing a daily rant. I'm saying it because I mean it. I wish the best for your child. I really and truly wish the best for your daughter. It breaks my heart to see kids go through shit that I've had to go through. It's not easy. It's not easy. Mike Tyson cannot even begin to emphasize how difficult this is. He's never had to go through this. Like most people, all they do is speculate on shit. They don't know the actual truth of how we feel or what we go through. They speculate on things. Why would you choose someone who speculates over someone who actually knows the fucking truth? Someone who's been through that. An old soldier of childhood cancer. That's me. I'm one of them. And I'm sad that you would actually believe something without evidence, without some kind of proof. And this shit about, well, people who live in glass houses, well, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I don't harass people, not sexually. You can call this harassment, or me texting you can call that harassment. It's only harassment when you're being cornered with the truth. I became privy to that shit a long time ago when people were crying foul, oh, it's harassing me. Shut the fuck up. No one's doing shit to you. You're not a victim. You're a victim of being proven wrong or having the mirror reflecting your stupidity in your face. That's the only thing you're a victim of. People love to resort to that. They've made that the new habit now in 2021. Cry foul when you are backed into a corner and you have no choice but to admit you were wrong. So cry foul. Yeah, fuck off. You know, when I'm wrong, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I've done it many times before. I will admit when I am wrong about something. But to tell me in a text message that I don't know what I'm talking about, oh honey, I know exactly what I'm talking about. These people champion childhood cancer to make a name for themselves. They don't give a fuck about your kids, not in the way that you think. You let the motherfucker, and this is the part that really just makes my stomach turn, is that you let this motherfucker into your house. You gave him access through your front fucking door and around your children, your small kids. What the fuck were you thinking, Melinda? What were you thinking? What were you thinking? It's just, to me, it screams red flags. It screams alarms. That's why I fear for your kids, because you didn't seem to care. You didn't seem to do the homework and look into things a little better. You just let any motherfucker come into your house. I'm convinced. Whether they're sex predators, rapists, kidnappers. Hey, they gave me free money. They gave me free household appliances. They paid for a cancer mom's retreat. I can overlook the fact that he's a maggot because he's given me something. I'm getting something out of this, and I'm going to use my kid's cancer diagnosis to milk it for what it's worth. Milk. You know that's the truth. Just like everybody else, just like Courtney Cochran, just like all these other people, Alyssa Watson, all these other people who are clinging to FAM and Milk Tyson because they're looking for free handouts. They're being bought off and sold with gifts and money. That's bribery, honey, which is illegal. It's illegal. And he is engaged in extortion. He is. Well, first of all, a nonprofit organization is not a lottery. A nonprofit organization is a nonprofit organization, which means that their duties is to assist and serve the public by donations that they take in from the public. There's no, well, share this and you'll win. You'll be eligible to win all this money. No, it is a non-profit fucking organization. And since when does a non-profit organization ask for social security numbers? I have never in my life heard of a non-profit organization demanding money. I have never in my life heard such stupid shit. I read this in a screenshot. It's like, who does that? Who fucking does that? It's a non-profit organization. It's just, it's beyond frustrating when otherwise intelligent people fall into such disgusting, vindictive traps. And these are people like you, Melinda, people who are vulnerable and gullible to believe anything and everything you are told. You are going to swallow everything by the tablespoons, without question. That's a problem. And I'm trying to get some sense into your fucking head, apart from the fact that I'll call you every name in the book. I'm trying to get you to understand something, and that goes for everybody else listening to this. I'm trying to get you to understand. You gotta have evidence to support a claim. You gotta have the evidence. You can't just go and believe something because a bunch of people said it. That's an appeal to popularity, and it doesn't work. That's like saying, well, 1 million people believe that the sun revolves around the earth. Well, those 1 million people are wrong. Because the earth actually revolves around the sun, and we know that. We know that the earth revolves around the sun. Science is the evidence that shows that the earth revolves around the sun. I don't give a fuck what 1 million people feel. That's irrelevant to what's actually true, and we have the evidence for it. It's no different than this, Melinda. I don't give a fuck what you feel. Show me some evidence. If they're telling you all this nasty, horrible, disgusting shit about me, demand evidence of them, and then when you get that evidence, email it to me. I blocked you on my cell phone. You're not going to send me text messages ever again. So you might as well just hang it up. But to say that people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? I have never in my life sexually harassed anybody. Never. Anytime I've ever spoken to a woman in kind of an adult way, that's always been consensual. They talk to me in the same way that I speak to them. And how do we know? And how do we know, Melinda, that he wasn't sexually harassing an underage girl or a small child? See, we don't know that, and I'm not sitting here saying that that is the case, but we don't know that. And even if it was an adult, it makes not one iota of difference. Sexual harassment is predatory fucking behavior, and it's wrong. It's fucking wrong, Melinda. It's wrong. W-R-O-N-G. Wrong. You know this. Obviously, because you blocked me. You cut off connection with me based on something you read. And the horrific shit that they're accusing me of was grounds enough for you to block me. But when Milk Tyson publicly admits to being a maggot, you're going to make exceptions for him? That's really fucking strange to me. Really fucking strange. There's a conflict. And when there's a conflict, that's when you get a daily rant recording by Jer Bear himself. Because I have fucking had it with stupidity. I have had it with stupidity. If you don't know something, then educate yourself. Learn something. Gather the knowledge. Garner something from the experience. But protecting your stupidity, this willful ignorant shit, it doesn't work for me. I'm against willful ignorance. Fucking learn something, honey. Pick up on something. If someone is, I don't care how many people it is, they're coming to you with claims about me. Why don't you then say, well, okay, you're making this claim, where's your evidence for this? Where's your proof? If this Jared Fuller guy is so bad, then why don't you show some evidence claiming to substantiate your claim? Why don't you show some evidence to back up the claim you're making? And why hasn't that happened yet? You might get evidence of, oh, see, Jared puts people on public blast, he's cutting people down. Yep, you betcha. I'll admit to that all day long. Absolutely right. I am cutting people down. It's called payback. Tit for tat, honey. Now, you didn't necessarily cut me down other than the fact that you said people who, live in glass houses. Well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about there because I've never sexually harassed anyone. A day in my life. Never happened. It's just not the kind of guy I am. Or are you going to be one of these people who holds it against me because I'm single and don't have kids? You going to hold that against me too? Like a fucking idiot? Because not having children and being single has nothing, zero to do with the fact that I'm a childhood cancer survivor and I can talk about these things personally from a personal standpoint. When are people going to wake up? Wake the fuck up. Smell the coffee. Smell the bullshit. Melinda, I'm still willing to have a conversation with you if you're willing to have the civil conversation. But I told you I was going to fix it. I told you that I was going to make sure the whole world knew how stupid and ignorant you are. And to send me text messages like, well, you don't even know what you're talking about, honey. He admitted to sexually harassing somebody. That's all I need to know. That's all anybody should need to know. He admitted to being a fucking pervert. He admitted to it. You've got to be kidding me. I don't know what I'm talking about. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then have the gumption to say, well, people who live in glass houses, honey, I've never sexually harassed anyone in my whole life. What the fuck are you talking about, people who live in glass houses? Really? Is that the best comeback you have? Gotta be a little quicker on your feet than that. You know? What the fuck? People who live in glass houses. Wow. That's interesting. I'd like to know exactly what she's referring to. What are you referring to, Melinda? Because I haven't sexually harassed anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. And by the way, Melinda, the shit that I'm being accused of, that I have been accused of for ages now, which by the way is felonious, it's criminal. So if you have the evidence to any of the stuff, and if any of those people telling you this shit have any evidence to the claims you're making, why don't they just put it in a police report and have me locked up? Just do away with me. It's that simple. It's as easy as that. Most of those people have my mailing address, Melinda. I'm sure you'll have it. If you don't have it now, give it time. You'll get it. But instead, you'd rather be ignorant and stupid about the situation and not question anything. Just believe everything you are told based on the number of people saying it. That's not how reality works. 1 million people could tell me something that if I don't find to be reasonable within the realm of reality, I'm going to say, I don't believe you. You're going to have to show me some proof. You're going to have to show me some evidence. That's just the way it is. That's not just my brain processing things. That's reality. That's how we came to a better understanding of reality. That's how we evolve as human beings. And when you become a human being, Melinda, get back with me. Because the rest of us real human beings, as myself, we got shit to do. I got places to be and people to see and things to do. So when you want to grow up and be an adult and have a civil conversation, email me, because you're not texting me anymore. You can email me. The email address is in the About tab section of this particular YouTube channel. Reach out to me. We'll have the civil conversation. And if you come to an understanding and if we're able to talk and carry on a conversation, a back and forth conversation, then I will retract every mean thing I've said in this particular daily rant. And I will. You got my word on that. I'll take back every mean thing I said. But you're going to have to come to your senses. You're going to have to be the one to say, you know what? All these people are saying this, but where's the proof? Where's the evidence of this? They're saying it, but they can't prove it. You know, much like your child's cancer diagnosis, Melinda. Was that all rumored, or was that evidence-driven? Well, I'm leaning more towards the latter. With Mike Tyson, he just admitted flat out that he's a creep. Like I said, find the video on my channel called Beware of Fam Fighting All Monsters. A lot of views on the channel. Listen to it and get back with me. I have dissected this. Numerous times I have taken this apart, time and time again. And after having conversations with people to get them to understand the rationale of what's going on, they come to me and say, you know, Jared, you make a really good point. I never thought of it like that. You're correct. I haven't seen anything, what they're saying, how they're describing. I have never saw that coming from you. Thank you very fucking much. I'm taking a bow. You can't see it, but I'm taking a bow. Because that's the way reality fucking works. If you're going to believe what people tell you, you're just as gullible and stupid as they are. I don't want you to be stupid, Melinda, but, you know, you're giving me all kinds of material to work with here, honey. All kinds of material. Especially this closed-ended text message of all people who live in glass houses. You know what? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm still trying to understand what you're talking about, because I have never in my life sexually harassed anybody. Every interaction that I've ever had with a female has been consensual. I don't have to say that because that's my personal business. That's my life. The parts of my life that I shouldn't have to present to anybody. But if we're going to split hairs, yeah. I've had consensual adult conversations with females. Abso-fucking-lutely. So what? We weren't sexually harassing each other. There's a difference when you're consenting to something versus throwing yourself onto somebody, like Milk Tyson did. Big difference. And then says, I'll sexually harass anything. That's Milk Tyson saying that. I'm telling you, watch the fucking video, Melinda. Watch the video. Look for the video on my channel. It's called Beware Fam Fighting All Monsters. Listen to the words that Milk Tyson has to say. I'm not cherry picking. These are very important, pivotal pieces of evidence that we all have against him now. He should be sitting behind bars. I got no sympathy for the maggot. I really don't. He is a fat, tubble-haired piece of shit who deserves to be sitting in prison for riding on the backs of sick children and taking advantage of vulnerable parents. Fuck him. Fuck Fighting All Monsters. It is a scam. And if you're going to defend that, then fuck you too. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this daily rant. It felt good to get back in the saddle and just say what's on my mind and just to get shit out there and to remind people of their own stupidity, which can be fun at times, but not necessarily all the time, because I really want people to do better. I want for people to think critically, logically, rationally. I want people to be better at what they do. I want for people like Melinda to get the point, to get the message that your chain of logic is entirely fucking backwards. There is no way I just believe something without proof, without some kind of evidence. There's no way I'm going to believe it. Melinda, if someone came to me and said something horrific about you, I would have to see some kind of proof. If they told me that you were using drugs or smoking drugs with your children, I would have to say, hey, show me some kind of proof. I don't fucking believe you, because if I know Melinda as well as I think I do, I don't think she's that kind of person. But then again, who knows? If you have some kind of evidence to show me that Melinda was smoking drugs with her kids, whether it be an official report from Child Protective Services or the local police department, if there's some kind of credible evidence that would show that, then I would believe it. But until such time, no, I don't believe it. I gotta see some kind of proof. Melinda, if someone told me that you yourself was a sexual predator, if someone told me that you were molesting your children, and don't tell me, oh, but women don't do that. Yes, they fucking do that. Yes, women molest children. Women have sex with young children. We know this. Just ask the teachers in Florida. They're always fucking their students. But yes, that is possible. Don't tell me it's not. It is. We know that. If someone told me that Melinda Fisher was a pedophile, a sex predator, I wouldn't believe that until I had evidence determining that that was the case. If there's no evidence for that, I'm not going to believe it. It's that simple, Melinda. It's that simple. You're going by what people are saying on Facebook. What about actual evidence? What about proof? I'm not a fan of purgatory. I'm not going to sit here and keep my mouth shut when I'm being, lied about. I'm always being lied about constantly somewhere in the world. And I've had it. I'm not going to sit back and be quiet about it. I'm going to talk about it. And Melinda, if you're going to be stupid, I'm going to put your arrogance and stupidity on public fucking blast. Now you're on public notice. You better clean your act up. This is not going to get better for you if you don't. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition of the Daily Rant. My name is Jared Bear Fuller. I almost forgot my name. Have a wonderful day, guys. I will see you tomorrow for the Sunday video update. Until then, as always, toodaloo!